talking about a single source packaging supply chain partner, why it's the future of emerging CPG, how it will save you time and money when it comes to launching new products and brands, and ultimately enable you to take vision to shelf in a matter of days to weeks in comparison to the traditional 4 to 6 months. So let's talk about the current state of the cannabis packaging supply chain. In most cases, you're either buying from an independent manufacturer for a single layer, meaning you deal with a label manufacturer, you deal with a box manufacturer, you buy your glass from another partner. Right there, you've got 3 different suppliers just to build one product. And I'd say in most cases, it's 2 to 4 suppliers for a single product to get to market by the time that you look at all the different layers necessary to package up, meet compliance, and get to shelf. That's your primary container, potentially labels, your case packs, and then your corrugated shippers. So how does it work today? Brand either buys from a single intermediary, typically a broker, maybe they're a distributor broker, and that distributor broker on the brand's behalf is now working with 3-4 different suppliers to execute that single product. The other route is a brand will work to procure all the individual layers directly from the manufacturer themselves, but now they're buying from, again, 2, 3, 4 different suppliers just to bring that one new SKU into their portfolio and into market. What we've built at Vert is vendor A, B, C under one roof. So we've consolidated the amount of suppliers that you have to deal with from 3 to 4 down to 1. How does this add value to you? Well, no brainer. You're going to get a ton of time back in your day. You're going to have a better experience with your product arriving all at one time instead of coming in from 3-4 different parties, and you have 2 components there waiting for the last to get there so you can start packaging out. You're also able to order exactly what you need. So instead of meeting different manufacturers' minimums, you have one minimum quantity that you ultimately, at Vert, there are no minimums, so you set the quantity that you want, and then you can buy exactly to that quantity in every component that you need to bring that product to market. The way that the industry operates today is the former. Buy from vendor A, buy from vendor B, buy from vendor C, and it creates a ton of friction and complexity. The other element is that if you're launching a new product, the time it takes to get all these different vendors on the same page and then, also align your internal resources is significant. Whereas working with one single partner who ultimately is involved with bringing your product to life as part of your project management team, you're able to cut down on the back and forth and streamline the process of bringing new products, new brands to market, as well as accelerating growth. So in the early days of regulated cannabis, over a decade ago, packaging mostly just came in through intermediary channels, brokers, distributors that were buying it from China, selling it to America, very little customization. We've since seen many manufacturers in America enter the cannabis industry, but in most cases, these manufacturers just make a single layer, as I mentioned. Maybe they're a label maker, maybe they're a box manufacturer, maybe they're, manufacturing shrink sleeves or whatever it might be. What we've experienced is that cannabis is an innovation-driven game. It's all about speed to market. It's coming up with the new products. It's resonating for the consumer with a product that ultimately that they're looking for. And what this requires is a nimble and agile supply chain network to effectively execute and be ahead of the market. First to market is a big deal in cannabis when it comes to securing shelf space. The fact that you have to deal with all of these different vendors to execute on one product ultimately leads to compounding issues, compounding challenges, whereas when you are working with one partner, you now only have those issues in one place. Meetings cost a company money, right? So every meeting that you have is a direct cost to the bottom line. It's a direct hit to the expenses. 3 meetings with 3 different suppliers for one product, it's it's hard to justify when there's a partner out there that's able to consolidate that into one meeting. So let's talk about the supply chain evolution. In the early days of cannabis, over a decade ago, everything was being brought in through intermediary channels, brokers, distributors, very little customization, mostly stock containers. Over the years, we've seen us shift to more custom printed containers, primary packaging, secondary packaging, tertiary packaging. Most case packs are branded today, for example, in comparison to years ago, it was just typically a brown box and maybe not even shipped in a corrugated shipper, sometimes plastic containers. Ultimately, it's led to a decentralized supply chain. Partners are spread out, be it throughout America, most cases overseas, and it's filled with complexity, friction. It's difficult. It's really a pain in the ass for people to actually execute and bring a product to market, and it doesn't have to be that difficult, which is why we've designed Vert to be a single source supply chain, packaging supply chain partner. What we've done is we've built a vertically integrated single source supply chain all under one roof, which means that you can buy your jars, your containers, whatever primary package you want to use, along with the customization, your secondary layers, and your tertiary layers, all from one partner, all to the final quantity that you ultimately want to have on that order instead of having to meet different manufacturer minimums. This means you get to meet with one partner to discuss and manage your project instead of three. It saves your team time, which ultimately means you're saving money because meetings cost money. And it also helps you streamline bringing idea and concept to shelf in a fraction of the traditional time that's involved from a planning perspective, an execution perspective, as well as a fraction of the traditional cost. The cost element is through our low to medium production runs. So we don't have minimum order quantities today at Vert. We prototype, so we can literally do 5 different units. If you want physically prototype, this includes boxes, things like this box and this box. We can do these literally one-off, printed, assembled, ready to go. We also go down to 100 unit orders for production. So this is why we say we don't have MOQs. We are rapidly evolving into more than just a packaging company. We are creative. We are also now starting to provide other materials like hardware and cones. And the reason for this is that we see that our clients ultimately are looking for a partner who can handle cradle to grave their supply chain, componentry, packaging requirements, creative requirements. The friction that's involved with getting all these different parties to work together is not something that operators ultimately want to deal with, which means, yes, we started as a packaging company, but we're evolving into something much bigger. Our creative services are becoming more robust in regards to the level of services that we can provide. So anywhere from production entry level all the way through to agency level. We have different partners within our organization that are capable of handling these types of requests and asks. But ultimately, we're looking to take the headache of branding and packaging off of operators' plates. Make that our responsibility as a partner in your business so that you can focus on all the other challenges that are involved with operating cannabis today. Benefits of a single source supply chain, well, as we called out, speed to market. This is one that I think is often overlooked because operators don't know that there's better out there. But the reality is that in our model and our platform, we've intentionally designed it to resolve the common pain points that are in the industry. Time is the biggest one. Most times I see it takes operators 4 to 6 months to go from new product idea to product and market. With Vert, you can do this in literally a matter of weeks. We guarantee our products to ship in 11 business days or less. If you are organized on the brand side, we have the resources in place to move as fast as you want to move. We can go from concept to shelf in under 4 weeks. Not an issue. The next element would be cost. So what's it cost you to bring an idea to market? I see traditionally it costs $15,000, $20,000 of packaging because most manufacturer minimums are 10,000 units. At Vert, as I mentioned, we don't have MOQs, which means ultimately you can launch a new product with everything you need and be on shelf for within a couple of grand. Call it under $2,500. buying just what you need to demand, on demand. That means that you don't have to go out and spend. You don't have to go out and meet different manufacturers' minimums. Just buy what you need. We'll take care of making sure you have every single component dialed in and only to what you require for that final unit count hitting the shelf. And this means if you want to buy 1,000 total packages across 4 different art versions or SKUs, not a problem. We'll take care of that. What does this mean in regards to the speed, the cost? Well, ultimately it carries over to accelerating brand growth. One of the most common challenges that I've seen in the industry is that when you do find product market fit, it's the time it takes to replenish the product. Ultimately, you're out in the market, you're selling your product, more retailers are becoming aware of it, they want to place orders with you, but the time that it takes to now bring in the next round of packaging gets in the way of saying yes, and ultimately might cost you an opportunity of getting on a new retailer's shelf because they're looking to fill that space and you're waiting for new material to arrive. In the Vert model, we cut down the time that's involved with replenishment cycles, which ultimately carries over to faster growth because you can say yes when that retailer comes to you by knowing that you can have product shipping in 11 days. It's just a matter of the timing versus the uncertainty and the unknown that's traditionally involved with managing the packaging supply chain. Who do we serve? So Vert serves cannabis operators of all sizes. Initially, when we were building Vert, the intent was to bridge the gap between drop culture and cannabis. It just so happens that the same back end and front end that we've designed offers value to startup brands. It offers value to single state operators. It offers value to multi-state operators. There isn't a single operator in cannabis that isn't launching a new product today. So ultimately, Vert is the fastest and easiest way to launch new products and new brands, but we don't just do that. As you grow, we grow with you. We have a scalable supply chain, which means that you can leverage our domestic operation where you need to for very fast turn, low runs, proof of concept, finding product market fit, cutting down those replenishment cycles, and then as you are building that position in the market and you're ready to commit more dollars to your inventory and your supply chain, we can move your demand into an import supply chain scenario, be it our Mexico supply chain, or if you really want to go the route of China, yes, we do that too, but we will show you every reason why we think that should be your last stop in the journey of driving your unit economics down. So running that back, it doesn't matter if you're a startup, if you are a multi-state operator, if you're a cultivator, a retailer, anybody that has a need for packaging, we are capable and have designed our business to serve. Ultimately, it's just a matter of understanding what your needs are, really getting clear on the initiative, and then allowing and enabling Vert to be a partner in your business. Thanks for jumping on the Vert vlog with us today. Look forward to catching you next time.